Haribol. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Girivaradari Jai Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Girivaradhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Girivaradari Jai Girivaradari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Girivaradhari
Yasuranandana Jayo Brajajananandana
Yashodanandana Jayo Brajajanaranjana
Yasuranandana Jai Brajajananandana
Yashodanandana Jayo Brajajanaranjana
Gunachira Bhanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jai Kunja Bihari
Yamuna Tira Banachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Kunja Bihari
Gunachira Bhanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Kunja Bihari
Yamuna Tira Banachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Kunja Bihari
Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava
Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha. Jai Girivardhari. Jai Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha.
Jai Girivardhari.
Jaya Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha. Jai Girivardhari. Jai Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha. Jaya Girivardhari. Jaya Girivardhari.
Yasodanandana. Jai Brajajanarandana.
Yashodanandana. Jaya Brajajanaranjana.
Yasodanandana. Jai Brajajanarandana. Munachira Vanachari. Jai Ho Kunja Bihari. Jai Kunja Bihari. Jai Ho Kunja Bihari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Munachira Vanachari. Jai Kunja Bihari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava. Jai Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava. Jai Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, oh Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bye-bye. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Full name, Radhesham. Wow, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Gauranga, Nityananda. Wow, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Nitai, go. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gaur,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gaur. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gaur.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Gaura Hari.
Gaura 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 Hari,
Gaura Hari.
Gaura 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 Hari,
Gaura Hari.
Gaura 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 Hari,
Gaura Hari.
Gora 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 Hari.
Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga. Hey Nitai Gauranga Jai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jai Gaur Hari. Hey Nitai Gauranga Jai Gaur Hari. Nitai Gauranga Jai Gaur Hari. Gaur Hari. Gaur Hari. Gaur Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, hey, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Whoa. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Kirtan forever. Kirtan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah! Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Kirtan, yo! Wow, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mercy, mercy, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Radhe,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Good praying done. Harinam, Sankirtan. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Karinam Roop,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Avatar.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Back home, Vrindavan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, here we go.
Rama Hare Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Go, 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 go.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Everybody.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yay!
Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, that's it. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Yay!
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Yay!
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Here we go.
Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Chant this.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Kirtan
Hare Rama,
forever and ever, ever.
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Go, 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 go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Dance, 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 dance. Wow, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Go, go. Woo!
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Wow, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Woo! 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 Wow, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare. Kirtan, whoa!
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauri Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada.
Om Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Om Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Oh, Prem Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Mishtupad Paramahansa Paribachikacharya Astadha Sri Srimad Savaiga ISKCON Kathmandu Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namchaya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Sukaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki Shri Brajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Vidit Mayapur Dham ki Raghunath Puri Dham ki Ganga Yamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi ki Tulsi Maharani ki ISKCON Bibidi Founders Higher save the whole world Shri Prabhupada ki the Nepal Yatra K, Nepalese devotees K, Srila Prabhupada K, Shri Brajabhumi, Shri Shri Vrindavan Dhamma Yeda, Gaura Premanande, Gaura Premanande, Gaura Premanande. A glory to the assembled devotees. A glory to the assembled devotees. A glory to the assembled devotees. Praise the Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Kirtan forever.
Woo!
Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for inviting myself and my team here to this beautiful country of Nepal with your beautiful capital city of Kathmandu.
त फेरि पनि सबै भक्तलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद ज्ञापन गर्न चाहन्छु कि हजुरहरूले महाराजलाई साथसाथै महाराजसँग आउनुभएका भक्तहरूलाई पनि यो काठमाडौँमा आएर कीर्तन गाउने अवसर दिनुभएको छ।
You're all blessed in many ways.
हजुरहरू धेरै तरिकाले आशीर्वाद प्राप्त हुनुहुन्छ।
You're just at the foot of the grand Himalayan mountains.
र तपाईहरु चाहिँ हिमालय पर्वतको ठिक्क काखमा बस्नु भएको छ।
Actually sitting at the feet of Lord Krishna, because in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says of mountains, I am the Himalayan mountains.
तपाईहरु भगवान श्री कृष्णको ठिक चरण कमलमा बस्नु भएको छ, किनकि भगवत गीतामा भगवान श्री कृष्णले भन्नु भएको छ कि पर्वतहरुमा म हिमालय हुँ।
Krishna says he is the Himalayan mountains. Something so great is a representative of Krishna.
त हिमाल भनेको भगवान श्री कृष्णको प्रतिनिधि हो।
So you could say this darshan you have of the Himalayas, it's a darshan that never closes.
त हजुरहरूले जुन यो हिमालको दर्शन गर्नुहुन्छ वास्तवमा यस्तो दर्शन हो जुन कहिल्यै बन्द हुँदैन।
Think about it, your beautiful Gaurnitai, Radha Krishna, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, they open and they close.
यसो सोच्नुस् न, तपाईहरुको यहाँ भगवान राधा गोविन्द हरि गौरनिताई जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया महारानी माको पर्दा खुल्छ बन्द हुन्छ।
But your Himalayan mountains, there's no curtain, never closes. You can wake up in the morning, see the sunset on these beautiful mountains of which Krishna says he is. It's a darshan that never closes. You are so blessed.
तर यो हिमालयमा त कहिले पर्दा लाग्दैन। तपाईँ उठ्नुहुन्छ बिहान सबेरै हिमालको दर्शन गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ, सधैँभरि तपाईँ आशीर्वाद प्राप्त भइराख्नुहुन्छ।
A perfect atmosphere to advance in Krishna consciousness.
यस्तो वातावरण जहाँ कृष्ण भावनामृतमा प्रगति गर्न सकिन्छ।
I can see that despite all obstacles, this movement is spreading very quickly here in Nepal.
र मैले देख्न सक्छु कि अनेक बाधाहरूको बावजुद पनि चाँडै भन्दा चाँडै कृष्ण भावनामृतको यहाँ प्रचार हुँदैछ।
Because you have expert leadership and very fine congregation.
किनभने तपाईहरुको दक्ष नेतृत्व त छ र अति सुन्दर भक्त समाज छ।
Of course, it's never easy to spread a spiritual movement in the material world.
अवश्य आध्यात्मिक अभियानलाई भौतिक संसारमा फैलाउन त गाह्रै पर्छ।
At least I've experienced this in other countries. We're trying to spread a spiritual message where people are simply eager for sense gratification, material enjoyment. It doesn't always go so well.
र अरू देशहरुमा मैले देखेको छु कि हामीहरु आध्यात्मिक सन्देश दिन चाहन्छौं तर व्यक्तिहरु इन्द्रिय तृप्तिको पछाडी लागिरहेका छन्, त्यसकारणले राम्रो तालमेल मिल्दैन।
People have come from the spiritual world to the material world to forget God.
व्यक्तिहरु आध्यात्मिक जगतबाट यो भौतिक जगतमा आएकै भगवानलाई बिर्सिनलाई हो।
Those who want to remember God, who want to be with God, who want to enjoy intimate loving relationships with Him, they stay in Vaikuntha or they stay in Goloka, the topmost spiritual planet in the spiritual world.
जो व्यक्तिहरुलाई भगवानसँग बस्नु छ, भगवानसँग सम्बन्ध गाँस्नु छ, उनीहरु यो भौतिक संसार आउँदैन, उनीहरु त वैकुण्ठमा बस्छन्, उनीहरु सर्वोच्च लोक गोलोक वृन्दावनमा बस्छन्।
Those who want to forget, planet Earth.
र जसलाई बिर्सिन मन छ, उनीहरु सिधै खसेर यो पृथ्वी लोकमा आउँछन्।
Now, we have to be very humble. That includes you and me. We're here. We're not there.
र अत्यन्त विनम्र भएर भन्नुपर्छ कि यसमा तपाई हामी सबै पर्छौं, किनकि हामी पनि यही छौं, हामी त त्यहाँ छैनौं।
But we are trying our best to get home.
तर हामीले पूर्ण प्रयास गर्नुपर्छ आफ्नो घर फर्किन।
And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most recent incarnation of Krishna, He's so kindly given us a very sublime, easy and sublime process for getting home.
र भगवान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु जो भगवान श्री कृष्णको निकटतम अवतार हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँले यस्तो अद्भुत शैली दिनुभयो जसबाट हामी घर फर्किन सक्छौं।
You just have kirtan like this every day.
यस्तै खाले कीर्तन हरेक दिन गर्नुस्।
Just like this kirtan, Maha Mahotsava. Cheto Dharpana Marjanam. All the lusty, greedy, angry desires in the heart. Bye bye.
यसरी नै तपाई कीर्तन गर्दै जानुस्, तपाईहरुको हृदय भित्रको काम, क्रोध, लोभ सबै निस्केर जान्छ र टाटा भन्न पाइन्छ।
So that's the easy part, but sometimes preaching is not so easy because people are not very receptive, but you have to keep trying.
अवश्य प्रचार गर्नलाई त्यति सजिलो छैन, किनभने व्यक्तिहरु स्वीकार गर्नलाई तयार छैनन्, तर पनि निरन्तर प्रयास गरिराख्नु पर्छ।
You can't rest until every single person in this great country of Nepal is a Hare Krishna devotee.
जबसम्म नेपालको प्रत्येक व्यक्ति हरे कृष्ण भक्त बन्दैन, तबसम्म हामीहरु विश्राम गर्न सक्दैनौं।
And you should expect that the more you preach, there will be some opposition at some point. That's just the nature of this world.
र यो त आशा गर्नै पर्छ कि हामीले प्रचार गरिसकेपछि विघ्न बाधाहरु त आउँछन् नै, यो भौतिक संसारको नियमै यही हो।
That's just the nature of this world.
यो संसारको स्वभाव यस्तै छ।
But Lord Chaitanya has taught us what to do just in case in this very nice country of Nepal some opposition comes. Lord Chaitanya has shown us an example of what we can do.
र मानौ के विघ्न बाधाहरु आए नै भने पनि चैतन्य महाप्रभुले आफ्नो उदाहरणद्वारा देखाउनु भएको छ कि हामीले के गर्नुपर्छ त्यस्तो परिस्थितिमा।
When Lord Chaitanya started the Sankirtan movement, it was just a few devotees chanting together in the house of Srivas Thakur.
चैतन्य महाप्रभुले यो अभियानको सुरुवात गर्दाखेरि केवल केही भक्तहरु मात्रै श्रीवास ठाकुरको आँगनभित्र कीर्तन गर्ने गर्थे।
Mahaprabhu introduced this Yuga Dharma, this process of chanting, just to a few very select Advaitacharya devotees, Srivas Thakur. Like this, he was introducing And others came in, pure devotees. They would come to the house of Srivas Thakur every night at midnight, when the whole town of Navadvip was sleeping. They were having kirtan like this.
र केही मात्र गने चुनेका भक्तहरू जस्तो कि अद्वैत आचार्य श्रीवास ठाकुर र केही यस्ता विशेष भक्तलाई मात्रै त्यहाँभित्र प्रवेश गर्ने अनुमति थियो र उहाँहरूले मध्यरात्रिमा जब सबै जगत सुतिरहेको थियो त्यस समय उहाँहरू महामन्त्रको कीर्तन गाउनुहुन्थ्यो.
Then one day Lord Chaitanya surprised all those devotees, maybe 10 or 20 devotees. The morning came, he said, go out and chant Hare Krishna in public. Like they were like, what? Go out and chant Hare Krishna in public.
र एक दिन चैतन्य महाप्रभुले सबै भक्तलाई अचम्बित पारिदिनु भयो. लगभग 10-20 जना जति भक्तहरू हुनुहुन्थ्यो होला. महाप्रभुले भन्नुभयो बाहिर जानुहोस् र सडकमा यो कीर्तन गर्नुहोस्. भक्तहरूले के भन्नुभएको, बाहिर जाने हो, बाहिर गएर यो हरिनाम संकीर्तन गर्नुहोस् भनेर आदेश दिनुभयो.
Just like when Prabhupada came to America, he started his preaching in earnest in that little storefront, 26 2nd Avenue. He had about 10 men with him.
र श्रील प्रभुपादले पहिलो पटक न्युयोर्कमा गएपछि 2nd एभेन्यूमा त्यो सानो सटरभित्र बसेर चाहिँ कीर्तन गाउनुहुन्थ्यो. केही गने चुनेका भक्तहरू थिए उहाँसँग.
And one day Prabhupada said one evening, he said, now boys, you take this chanting and you go out in the streets of New York and you chant. They were like, what? You go out in your dhotis with your shaved heads, with drums, and you chant on the streets. But Prabhupada, go.
र एक दिन श्रील प्रभुपादले भक्तलाई भन्नुभयो, अब तपाईहरू बाहिर निस्केर न्युयोर्कको सहरमा सडकमा चाहिँ यो कीर्तन गर्नुहोस्. अनि भक्तले भन्नुभयो, अरे हो र प्रभुपाद, कसरी जाने? अनि हो, जानुहोस्, यो हरिनाम संकीर्तनलाई आफ्नो बाजा गाजा लिएर बाहिर जानुहोस् र कीर्तन गर्नुहोस्. अनि प्रभुपाद जानेर भन्थ्यो, गइहाल्नुहोस् भन्नुभयो.
You may have seen that one of those first movies about Hare Krishna. They take this big drum, boom, boom, boom. They're walking onto the street. They're all very nervous. Hare Krishna.
र सुरुवाती दिनका तपाईँहरूले यो भिडियोहरू देख्नु भएको होला कि ठुलो बोर्ड लगाएका हुन्छन् हरे कृष्णको र तत्पश्चात त्यो मृदङ्ग लिएर बाहिर बजाउँदै गइरहेका हुन्छन्.
And lo and behold, when Lord Chaitanya requested the devotees to go out and chant, the people of Navadvip, they loved it.
र जसै चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भक्तलाई बाहिर गएर कीर्तन गर्ने आदेश दिनुभयो, नवद्वीप वासीहरूले यसलाई साह्रै मन पराउनु भयो.
Within days, within weeks, hundreds, thousands of people were joining Lord Chaitanya Sankirtan movement because this chanting is so attractive. It brings so much happiness, as you've experienced this evening.
र केही दिनभित्र नै सयौँ हजारौँ व्यक्तिहरू चाहिँ यो अभियानमा जोडिन थाले, किनभने यो कीर्तनमा यति आनन्द छ जस्तो कि अहिले बेलुका तपाईँहरूले देखिहाल्नु भयो कति आनन्द छ भनेर.
It's very natural to chant. Anyone can be happy because Jivera Supoya Krishnara Nityadas. Kaviraj Goswami says everybody's ultimately a devotee of Krishna. So if someone chants, he has to like the chanting.
त यो कीर्तन मन पर्नु त स्वाभाविक नै हो, किनकि कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामीले भन्नुहुन्छ कि जीवको स्वाभाविक अवस्था भनेको कृष्णको नित्यदास हो. त्यसकारणले कसैले कृष्णको कीर्तन गर्छ भने स्वाभाविक आनन्दित हुन्छ.
So very soon Navadvip Nadia was flooded with the holy names.
र चाँडै नै नवद्वीप नदिया सारा हरिनामको बाढीले आप्लावित भयो.
But there was some opposition that came up.
तर केही बाधाहरू आइपरे.
There was one individual, his name was Chand Kazi.
एउटा व्यक्ति थिए जसको नाम थियो चाँद काजी.
Who's heard of the Chand Kazi? Raise your hand.
यो चाँद काजीको बारेमा कसले सुन्नुभएको छ? हात उठाउनु त.
Yes, he was the local Muslim ruler, and he didn't appreciate seeing all the Hindus being so happy chanting Hare Krishna.
ऊ चाहिँ त्यहाँको स्थानीय तहको सरकारी प्रशासन चलाउँथे र हिन्दूहरूले यस्तो कीर्तन गरेको उनलाई मन पर्दैन थियो.
Actually, it's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, one of our scriptures, that one day the Chand Kazi was walking down the street with his soldiers, and they came across a kirtan party of devotees blissfully chanting on the streets.
र हाम्रो एउटा शास्त्र चैतन्य भागवतमा वर्णन गरिएको छ कि एक दिन चाँद काजी यसरी आफ्ना मान्छेहरूसँग बाहिर हिँडिरहेको समयमा उनले भक्तहरू संकीर्तन गर्दै आएको देखे.
He became very angry. He said, how is this happening in my kingdom that these Hindus are chanting some false name of God?
र उनी अत्यन्त क्रोधित भए र कसरी मेरो राज्यमा यस्तो हुन सक्छ कि हिन्दूहरूले भगवानको झुटो नाम गाउँदैछन्.
So that night he went back to his palace and he wrote a decree, because he was in charge of that area. There should be no more chanting Hare Krishna. Vaishnavas cannot come on the street and proclaim their God Krishna. Otherwise, they will be arrested.
र उनी बेलुका घरमा गएर संविधान बनाए कि अबदेखि कहिले पनि बाटोमा यस्तो कीर्तन गर्न पाइने छैन, हिन्दूहरूले बाहिर बाटोमा आएर भगवान श्रीकृष्ण हुनुहुन्छ भनेर घोषणा गर्न मिल्दैन, यदि गरे भनेदेखि उनीहरूलाई जेलमा हालिन्छ भनेर कानुन बनाए.
Devotees were not about to stop because, well, the order came from the mouth of God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So they kept chanting.
त भक्तहरू त रोकिनेवाला हुनुहुन्थेन, किनभने उहाँहरूलाई आदेश त स्वयं पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभुबाट प्राप्त भएको थियो, त्यसकारणले उहाँहरू अग्रसर हुनुभयो.
So the Chandkazi was so upset. The next day, he came out and devotees were chanting with his soldiers. He personally, the Chandkazi personally, approached the Sankirtan party, took the kartals, threw them in the Ganges, and smashed all the mridangas.
र यसरी भक्तहरू चाहिँ अटेरी गरेर कीर्तन गरिरहेको समयमा एक दिन चाँदकाजी व्यक्तिगत रूपमा आफ्ना सैनिकहरूको साथमा आए र जब उसले भक्तहरूले कीर्तन गरिरहेको देखे उनले करताल समातेर गङ्गामा फालिदिए र मृदङ्ग समातेर भुइँमा फुटालिदिए.
Not only that, but he went to the house of Srivas Thakur and all the kartals that were there for those nocturnal kirtans with Mahaprabhu, he took them, threw them in the Ganges, and smashed all the drums in the house of Srivas Thakur. What an offense to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
र त्यति मात्रै होइन, उनी श्रीवास ठाकुरको घरमा गएर जहाँ रात्रि कीर्तन हुने गर्दथ्यो त्यहाँ भएका करतालहरूलाई गङ्गामा फालिदिए, मृदङ्गलाई फुटालिदिए. यो साक्षात् चैतन्य महाप्रभुको चरण कमलमा कत्रो ठुलो अपराध हुन गयो होला.
So the next day a group of devotees, they went to see Lord Chaitanya and they explained the situation.
र अर्को दिन भक्तहरू जब चैतन्य महाप्रभुलाई भेट्न जानुभयो उहाँले परिस्थिति सम्झाउनु भयो.
So Mahaprabhu said, so you're all devotees of the Lord. I've given you the instruction to chant in public. There's some difficulty now. What do you think we should do? He asked the devotees, what do you think we should do?
र चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भन्नुभयो कि तपाईहरु सबै भगवान श्रीकृष्णका भक्तहरू हुनुहुन्छ, तपाईहरुलाई हरिनाम संकीर्तन गर्ने आदेश पनि दिएको छ, अब केही बाधा आएको छ, अब के गर्नुपर्छ होला? चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भक्तहरूलाई सोध्नुभयो के गर्नुपर्छ होला अब?
Just like when Prabhupada was here, he inaugurated this movement. Sometimes I remember he would call us to his room and he would inquire, how did we think we could spread the movement in this city, this state, this country? Because he didn't know the country so well. So he would ask us, so how should we spread Krishna consciousness? We would give our ideas to Prabhupada. He would pick one idea and that's how we proceed.
जस्तो कि श्री प्रभुपाद यस संसारमा हुँदाखेरि पनि उहाँले हामीलाई बोलाउनुहुन्थ्यो र सोध्नुहुन्थ्यो हरिनामको प्रचार कस्तो भइरहेको छ र सोध्नुहुन्थ्यो कसरी यो हरिनामलाई यो शहरमा चाहिँ प्रचार प्रसार गर्न सकिन्छ होला, किनभने उहाँले त शहरलाई जान्नु भएको थिएन, हामीले जानेका थियौँ, त्यसकारणले हामीसँग उहाँले प्रश्न सोध्नुहुन्थ्यो कि कसरी यसलाई सबैतिर फैलाउन सकिन्छ.
Prabhupada would often inquire about the Sankirtan parties.
र धेरै जस्तो संकीर्तनको पार्टीहरूको बारेमा प्रभुपादले प्रश्न सोध्नुहुन्थ्यो.
One time we went out on Sankirtan in Paris, and we were on one of the big avenues. We were chanting a big kirtan party, and a lady came in front of the kirtan party, and she put her fingers in her ears like this, and closed her eyes, went, don't film that. She stuck her tongue out at the kirtan party, refused to hear the chanting.
र एकचोटि पेरिसमा हामीहरूको हरिनाम संकीर्तन पार्टी चाहिँ त्यहाँको मुख्य बाटो भएर चाहिँ कीर्तन गर्दै जाँदै थियो र एकजना युवती हुनुहुन्थ्यो, उहाँ आउनुभयो र आफ्नो कान दुईटा अम्लाले छिरेर बन्द गरेर आफ्नो जिब्रोलाई बाहिर निकाल्न थाल्नुभयो.
So she stayed the whole 2 hours.
र 2 घण्टासम्म बस्नुभयो.
And that evening when we came back, Prabhupada called me to his room. He said, so, Indradyumna, how was the Harinam party today?
र बेलुका मन्दिरमा फर्केपछि प्रभुपादले मलाई बोलाउनु भयो र सोध्नुभयो इन्द्रद्युम्न कस्तो भयो त आजको हरिनाम?
I said, Prabhupada, there were some difficulties.
मैले भने प्रभुपाद केही समस्याहरू आएका थिए.
Oh, like what?
जस्तो कि?
Well, Prabhupada, you know, there was this lady, this French lady. She didn't like the kirtan, so she plugged her ears and closed her eyes, and she stuck her tongue out at us. Prabhupada went, oh, yes. He was like, oh, yes.
हेर जसै महाराजले वर्णन गर्नुभयो कि एकजना स्त्री हुनुहुन्थ्यो, उहाँ चाहिँ कीर्तनमा आउनु त भयो तर कान चाहिँ अम्लाले थुन्नुभयो, आँखा चिम्म गर्नुभयो र जिब्रो बाहिर निकालेर बस्नुभयो। अनि जसै यो कुरा सुनेपछि प्रभुपादले हो र भनेर भन्नुभयो।
So Prabhupada said to me, what did you do?
अनि प्रभुपादले भन्नुभयो, तिमीले के गर्यौ त?
What did I do? What did you do with that lady?
मैले के गरेँ? त्यो माताजीसँग के गर्यौ तिमीले?
I didn't do anything, Prabhupada.
मैले त केही पनि गरिनँ प्रभुपाद।
He said, you know what you should have done?
तिमीलाई थाहा छ तिमीले के गर्न पर्थ्यो?
I said, what?
के गर्न पर्थ्यो?
He said, you should have walked up to her and pulled her fingers out of her ears, taken her ear and chanted, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
तिमी उसको नजिकै जानु पर्थ्यो र दुईटा हातले अम्ला कानबाट बाहिर निकाल्दिएर उसको कानमा जोडसँग हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गाउनु पर्थ्यो।
Prabhupada said, yes. I said, next time I'll do that, Prabhupada.
अनि प्रभुपादले हुन्छ भन्नु, अर्कोचोटि म गर्छु है भन्नुभयो।
So all the devotees had come to Lord Chaitanya to say, we've got this problem. So Lord Chaitanya was saying, well, how do you think we should solve this problem? You're all my devotees. You give me some advice.
त सबै भक्तहरू चैतन्य महाप्रभुलाई यो समस्या लिएर आउनुभएको थियो र चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भन्नुभयो, तपाईहरु भन्नुस् न यो समस्याको कसरी समाधान गर्ने होला?
One devotee raised his hand.
एकजना भक्तले आफ्नो हात उठाउनु भयो।
He said, Mahaprabhu, I think that we should perform the Harinam Sankirtan in another city because Navadvip has become so unsafe. Let's go somewhere else.
र भक्तले भन्नुभयो, सायद अब हामीले यो हरिनाम संकीर्तन अर्को शहरमा गर्न पर्छ होला, किनभने यो नवद्वीप शहरमा त धेरै खतरा बढेको छ, सायद अर्को शहरमा हामी जान पर्छ कि?
Mahaprabhu said, no, we will not run away. We will confront the Kazi.
चैतन्य महाप्रभुले होइन, हामी भाग्नेवाला छैनौं, हामी काजीको आम्ना सामना गर्नेछौं।
So Mahaprabhu, he turned to Lord Nityananda, he said, go to the houses of all my devotees in Navadvip and tell them that in the late afternoon they should gather here with torches, flames, torches here, late afternoon, just before sunset.
र चैतन्य महाप्रभु नित्यानन्द प्रभुतर्फ फर्किनु भयो र उहाँलाई भन्नुभयो, सबैको घर घरमा गएर तिमीले सन्देश देऊ कि दिउँसोको समयमा हामीहरू हरिनाम संकीर्तनमा निस्किन्छौं र सबैले आफ्नो घरबाट मुसल लिएर आउनु।
Mahaprabhu said, we are not going to leave. We're going to chant and dance in every street in Navadvip and take this procession to the palace of the Kazi.
र चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भन्नु, हामी भाग्नेवाला छैनौं, हामी एउटा नवद्वीपको बाटोमा कीर्तन गर्नेछौं र अन्तिम यो कीर्तनलाई त्यही काजीको दरबारमा लिएर जानेछौं।
If he doesn't surrender, we'll knock down his door and we'll burn down his house. Let him or anyone try to stop me. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Mahaprabhu.
चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भन्नुभयो, कसैले हामीलाई रोक्न सक्दैन, हामी उसको घरमा जानेछौं, उसको घरलाई जलाएर खरानी बनाइदिन्छौं, हेरौं त कसले आएर रोक्दो रहेछ मलाई।
And devotees went, oh! Mahaprabhu went, because I am time personified.
र भक्तले एकदम तर्सिनु भयो र चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भन्नुभयो, किनकि म साक्षात काल हुँ।
So he fired up the devotees so much that they didn't even eat lunch that day. They just made these torches.
र भक्तहरूलाई चैतन्य महाप्रभुले यति तताउनु भयो कि उनीहरूले दिउँसोको भोजन प्रसाद लिन पनि बिर्से, उनीहरू त त्यो मुसल बनाउनमा त्यो राखे जुलुस तयार गर्नमा लागे।
And just before sunset, it was starting to get dark. They all gathered outside the house of Srivas Thakur.
र जसै सन्ध्या हुन लागेको थियो त्यस समयमा सबैजना चाहिँ श्रीवास ठाकुरको घर अगाडि भेला भए।
In teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada, he says, this is the first civil disobedient movement.
र चैतन्य महाप्रभुका शिक्षामृत पुस्तकमा श्रील प्रभुपादले भन्नुहुन्छ, यो पहिलो क्रान्तिकारी अभियान हो।
Of course, obviously there were other civil disobedience movements before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began, but what he meant is this was the most important.
अवश्य पनि चैतन्य महाप्रभु भन्दा पनि अगाडि कयौं क्रान्तिकारी अभियानहरू थिए होलान्, तर श्रील प्रभुपादले के भन्नु खोज्नुभएको भने यो सबैभन्दा महत्त्वपूर्ण क्रान्तिकारी अभियान हो।
Because if the Chan Kazi was successful in stopping the Sankirtan movement there, we would not be here today, Prabhus.
र किनभने यदि चाँदकाजीले त्यतिखेर त्यो हरिनाम संकीर्तनलाई रोक्नमा सफल भएको भए हामीहरू सायद यहाँ आज हुँदैन थियौँ होला.
This is a history lesson, right? You go to school, science, you have math, you have history. This is the real history of the world. Everything else is just chewing the chewed. This is the real history of the world.
त यो वास्तविक इतिहास हो. तपाईँ स्कुलमा जानुहुन्छ, त्यहाँ विज्ञान पढ्नुहुन्छ, गणित पढ्नुहुन्छ, इतिहास पढ्नुहुन्छ, तर यो चाहिँ वास्तविक इतिहास हो. अरू सबै त चपाइसकेकोलाई चपाएको जस्तो हो.
Now it's mentioned that, small groups started gathering, 10 here, 10 there, 50 here, 100 there.
र यस्तो पढन्छ कि सानो टोलीहरू बनेको थियो. कहीँ 10 जना, यता 10 जना, उता 20 जना, कोही 50 जना, कोही 100 जना.
But Chaitanya Bhagavat says millions.
र चैतन्य भागवतमा भनिएको छ लाखौं.
Millions of devotees came.
लाखौं भक्तहरू आउनुभयो.
Millions?
लाखौं?
Yes, we should never think anything we hear in Shastra is an exaggeration to kind of pull us into it. No, this is a fact, history. To think that the glories of the holy name are exaggeration, that's an offense. So, how many came? Millions.
त हामीले कहिले पनि शास्त्रमा दिएका वाक्यहरूमाथि सन्देह गर्नु हुँदैन, शङ्का गर्नु हुँदैन, किनकि हरिनामको महिमाको लागि चाहिँ हामीहरूले एकदमै गफ हानेको, धेरै नै बढाइ चढाइ गरेर भनेको भनेर सोच्नु पनि अपराध हुन जान्छ. त्यसकारणले कतिजना भक्तहरू आएका थिए? लाखौं.
And when it became dark, there were so many millions of people with torches. It's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat that nighttime, because of those torches, nighttime was brighter than daytime. Wow. There's the sun, right? You have lots of sun here now. It's so sunny during the day. But at nighttime, it was even brighter than the day because so many millions of torches. It's brighter than the day. Haribo!
र यति धेरै मात्रामा भक्तहरूले चाहिँ त्यो मुसल बाल्नु भएको थियो कि त्यो मुसलको उज्यालोले रात्रिको समय दिनभन्दा पनि उज्यालो भयो. तपाईहरु विचार गर्नुहोस्, दिनमा सूर्य चम्केको हुन्छ, कस्तो सबै उज्यालो हुन्छ, तर रातिमा भनेर यति धेरै चाहिँ त्यो मुसलहरू जलाए, आगो यति ठुलो बल्यो कि दिउँसो भन्दा पनि ज्यादा उज्यालो हुन थाल्यो. कस्तो भयो होला सोच्नुस्.
Mahaprabhu joined the Kirtan party. Mridanga tuk tuk boom 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 boom. What's that sound? Boom boom. Boom boom. Cartel. This massive. So many devotees started moving through the streets of Navadvip, chanting everywhere. Then Mahaprabhu said, now we will confront the Chandkazi.
र चैतन्य महाप्रभुको साथमा अनेक भक्तहरूले मृदङ्ग बजाइरहेका थिए, कयौं भक्तहरूले करताल बजाइरहेका थिए र सबै भक्तहरू हरिनाम संकीर्तनको साथमा बाटोमा हिँडिरहेका थिए. त्यसैमा चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भन्नुभयो, अब हामी काजीको घरतर्फ प्रस्थान गर्छौं.
And so many people were joining the Kirtan party, so many devotees, because they could see the Chandkazi is going to be challenged by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they wanted to see this historic event. So people came out of their houses with flowers and sweets and garlands, and they all joined the Kirtan party as well.
र कयौं व्यक्तिहरू चाहिँ त्यो हरिनाम संकीर्तनमा जोडिदिए थिए, किनकि व्यक्तिलाई लागिरहेको थियो, हो चैतन्य महाप्रभुले अब काजीको सामना गर्न जाँदै हुनुहुन्छ, यो दृश्य त हेर्न लायकको हुन्छ, त्यसकारणले हामी पनि जान्छौं. र उनीहरू आफआफ्नो घरबाट फूलहरू, मालाहरू, मिठाईहरू, अनेक वस्तुहरू लिएर त्यो हरिनाम संकीर्तनमा जोडिदै थिए.
People were so eager to join the Kirtan party, they forgot to put out the lights in their house. Their house is lit up at night. There's candles and ghee lamps, etc. They left their doors open and left the lights on and ran and joined the Kirtan party.
र व्यक्तिहरू यो कीर्तनमा जोडिनका लागि यति उत्सुक थिए कि उनीहरूले आफ्नो घरमा रहेको बत्ती निभाउन पनि बिर्से, ढोकामा तालचा लगाउन बिर्से, सब थोक बिर्सेर उनीहरू आइरहेका थिए.
Now something very interesting happened, because all the thieves who are not devotees, they're dacoits, they're bad people, thieves, they thought, oh, this is very good. Everyone's leaving their doors open and the lights on. Very nice. We can go and steal everything in their house.
हेर एउटा रोचक चीज भयो कि त्यहाँ जति पनि चोरहरू थिए, जो फटा थिए, जो भक्त थिएनन्, उनीहरूले सोचे, हे एकदम राम्रो भयो, सबजना आफ्नो घरको बत्ती पनि बालेर ढोका खुल्लै राखेर गइरहेका छन्, अब हामीलाई त ठुलो अवसर मिल्यो यहाँ भित्र गएर लुट्नका लागि.
So they're saying the thieves are blessed. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Get out, go on.
र चोरहरू पनि अत्यन्त खुसी थिए, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण, ओ ल ल जाऊ जाऊ तिमीहरू बाहिर जाऊ भने।
Now they're chanting in the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Advaitacharya, Gadadhar, Srivas. The Panchatattva leading the kirtan like this, and the thieves are going by on the way to the houses, hearing Nitai chant, hearing Mahaprabhu chant, hearing Advaita chant. They're hearing the chanting of a pure devotee.
हेर यी चोरहरू जब यसरी गाइरहेका थिए त्यस समयमा उनीहरूले भगवान चैतन्य महाप्रभुले गाउनु भएको सुन्नुहुन्छ, नित्यानन्द प्रभुले गाएको सुन्नुहुन्छ, अद्वैत आचार्यले गाएको सुन्नुहुन्छ र जो चाहिँ शुद्ध भक्तको मुखबाट निस्केको हरिनाम उनीहरूको कानभित्र पर्यो।
Now anyone can benefit from hearing the Maha Mantra.
र जो कोहीले पनि यो महामन्त्रको श्रवणको फाइदा उठाउन सक्छ।
Rupa Goswami points out in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that the Maha Mantra is especially potent if it's heard from the lips of a pure devotee.
रूप गोस्वामीले वर्णन गर्नुहुन्छ कि यो महामन्त्रको शक्ति तब वास्तविक रूपमा प्रकट हुन्छ जब शुद्ध भक्तको मुखबाट निस्किन्छ।
Just like Prabhupada started this movement alone in Tompkins Square Park with a bongo, bong, bong, bong. But so many boys and girls came and surrendered because they were hearing the chanting of Hare Krishna from the lips of a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada.
जस्तो कि शिल प्रभुपाद एक्लो हुनुहुन्थ्यो र उहाँ टम्किन स्क्वायर पार्कमा गएर एक्लै त्यो एउटा बाजा बजाएर हरे कृष्ण महामन्त्र गाउनुहुन्थ्यो र जो कोही पनि केटाकेटीहरू त्यहाँ आएका थिए उनीहरूले शुद्ध भक्तको मुखबाट हरिनाम सुनेर उनीहरूले यो अभियानमा जोडिए।
And that's why in our Hare Krishna movement, although we have so many wonderful singers and kirtan leaders, we should not neglect to hear the kirtans of Srila Prabhupada, his recorded bhajans. They should also be playing in the temple, in our homes, in the ashrams, because Prabhupada's kirtan is pure devotion. If we hear Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Uta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnav, Prabhupada's chanting, it just touches the heart. So we should also be hearing Prabhupada's bhajans as often as possible.
त्यसै कारणले गर्दाखेरि पनि हामीले कयौं कीर्तनीयहरूको कीर्तन सुन्छौं, तर पनि जरुरी छ कि हामीले सदैव श्रील प्रभुपादका कीर्तनहरू वन्देहम श्री गुरु इत्यादि प्रभुपादले हरे कृष्ण गाउनु भएको यो मन्दिरमा होस् घरमा होस् सदैव सुनिराख्नु जरुरी छ।
So these thieves are going, the jewels, the gold, we're going to get it all. But they're running past all these pure devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And I started slowing down like, they were losing their desire for dhanam, janam, shundurim, for material wealth, for improper association with the opposite sex, for name and fame. It's just going from their heart. They're walking, they're touching Vaishnavas, touching, hearing the chanting. By that time they got to the house, they turned around and joined the Harinam party.
र यी चोरहरूले अब मौका मिल्यो, अब हीरा चाँदी सब लुट्ने भनेर भित्र जाँदै थिए। त्यस समयमा उनीहरूले शुद्ध भक्तहरूको मुखारबिन्दबाट निस्केको त्यो हरिनाम उनीहरूको कानमा पर्यो। अब बिस्तारै उनीहरूको त्यो चोर्ने अभिलाषा पनि घट्दै गयो र उनीहरूको पाइला पनि बिस्तारै रोकिँदै गयो र त्यो कीर्तन सुन्दा सुन्दै जब घरमा पुग्दा पुग्दै त उनीहरू त्यहाँबाट फन्को हानेर हरिनाम संकीर्तन पार्टीमा जोडिएर त्यतै जान थाले।
What's that verse? To see a devotee of the Lord is the perfection of the eyes.
यस्तो एउटा श्लोकमा भनिएको छ कि कृष्णको भक्तलाई देख्नु भनेको आँखाको पूर्णता हो।
To hear from a Vaishnava is the perfection of the ears.
वैष्णवबाट सुन्नु भनेको कानको पूर्णता हो।
To touch a Vaishnava is the perfection of touch.
र कुनै वैष्णवलाई छुनु भनेको स्पर्शको सफलता हो।
So they were touching Vaishnavas, hearing from Vaishnavas. Bhagavad describes they all became great devotees, turned around, and then they started chanting, and the other thieves who were coming by further down heard those previous thieves pure chanting, and they became devotees. And then they started chanting, and other dacoits came and heard them chanting, and they became devotees. Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya K!
Jai! र उनीहरू यसरी भक्तहरूको स्पर्श गर्दै भक्तहरूको मुखबाट हरिनाम सुन्दै जसै गइरहेका थिए, घर पुग्दा नपुग्दै त उनीहरू भक्त शुद्ध भक्तमा परिणत भए र उनीहरू फर्केर हरिनाम गर्न थाले र उनीहरूले गरेको हरिनाम सुनेर अरू आउनेवाला चोरहरू पनि परिणत भएर उनीहरू त्यहाँ जोडिए र तिनीहरूले गरेको हरिनाम सुनेर अरू गुण्डाहरू आए, ती गुण्डाहरू पनि भक्त बनेर त्यही संकीर्तनमा जोडिन थाले।
Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya K.
जय।
Then another amazing thing happened.
त्यसपछि अर्को अचम्म भयो।
The demigods, of course, they're devotees, they're mixed devotees, but they're devotees. They saw this Sankirtan party. They were watching from their flower airplanes. They saw this Sankirtan party going to the streets of Navadvip. They saw thieves and dacoits and rogues becoming pure devotees. They jumped out of their airplanes and they came down to earth disguised as ordinary citizens and started chanting and dancing in the Kirtan party.
र माथिबाट देवताहरू जो आफ्नो पुष्प विमानबाट गइरहेका थिए, जसै उनीहरूले देखे कि नवद्वीपमा यस्ता चोर फटा डाकुहरू पनि कीर्तनमा चाहिँ शुद्ध भक्त बनेर जाँदैछन् भनेपछि उनीहरू पनि आफ्नो पुष्प विमानबाट तल ओर्ले झरे र त्यहाँ साधारण व्यक्ति जस्तो भेष बनाएर त्यो हरिनाम संकीर्तनमा जोडिन थाले।
This is the yajna for this age. The Sankirtan, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Shangopanga Shaparshadam Yagnai Sankirtan Prayar Yajantihi Shu Medashaha, 11th canto Bhagavatam. This is the yajna for this age. And demigods, they like yajnas. They sometimes travel to different galaxies to attend a Vishnu yajna.
एकादश स्कन्धमा वर्णन गरिए अनुसार यो कलियुगको लागि यो संकीर्तन नै यज्ञ हो र देवताहरूलाई त यज्ञ मनपर्छ नै। उनीहरू त कयौं ब्रह्माण्डमा टाढा टाढासम्म यज्ञ विष्णु यज्ञमा सहभागी हुनलाई जान्छन्, त्यसकारणले यसमा पनि आए।
So you can just imagine they're like ordinary citizens, but they're great demigods. Brahma, Shiva, Ganesh, Saraswati, they're all there. In fact, Chaitanya Bhagavad says 33 million demigods joined the Sankirtan party of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to the house of the Chandkazi. We had millions of people, now we have 33 million demigods. Oh my God. Oh my Krishna.
यस्तो वर्णन गरिएको छ कि ब्रह्माजी, सरस्वती, शिवजी सारा देवताहरू नै आफ्नो भेष परिवर्तन गरेर यो संकीर्तन अभियानमा लाग्दैछन् र एक दुई जना मात्र हैन 33 करोड देवी देवताहरू चाहिँ यो संकीर्तन अभियानमा लागेका थिए। पहिला त लाखौं व्यक्तिहरू यो संकीर्तनमा थिए नै, अब 33 कोटी अझै थपिएपछि कति भयो होला तपाईहरु कल्पना गर्नुस्।
Now because of the presence of Gaurnitai and the Panchatattva,
र गौर्णिताई र पञ्चतत्वको उपस्थितिका कारणले गर्दा,
and because of their immediate circle of pure devotees,
र उहाँहरुको शुद्ध भक्तहरुको संघका कारणले गर्दा,
and the ordinary citizens who were becoming pure devotees by the association of Panchatattva, and the dacoits were becoming pure devotees, it's described that everyone there, they immediately attained their Siddha Swarup, their original form in the spiritual world. Everyone all of a sudden had 4 arms. Oh my God. All the citizens, all the dacoits, they achieved perfection. They have 4 arms, liberated souls. This is the potency of Sankirtan.
पञ्चतत्वको उपस्थितिको प्रभावका कारणले गर्दाखेरि जति पनि साधारण जनताहरू थिए उनीहरू त शुद्ध भक्त बने नै, ती शुद्ध भक्तहरूको प्रभावका कारणले गर्दा ती डाकुहरू पनि भक्त बने र यस्तो वर्णन गरिएको छ कि सबै जनाले नै आफ्नो सिद्ध स्वरूप भगवानको धाममा हुने जस्तो रूप चतुर्भुज रूप धारण गरे, उनीहरूले आफ्नो आध्यात्मिक स्वरूपलाई प्राप्त गरे। यो हरिनाम संकीर्तनको ताकत हो।
Swarup means original form, Siddha, your original form. Because of this kirtan, everyone had 4 arms. Where were we? We should have been in that kirtan party. We could have been dacoits, thieves, robbers, ignorant fools. But if we had been part of that kirtan party, we wouldn't be here now. We'd be in Vaikuntha.
र त्यो कीर्तनको प्रभावका कारणले गर्दा सबैजनाले सिद्ध स्वरूप प्राप्त गरे।
Where were you?
सबैजनाको चतुर्भुज प्राप्त भयो, आफ्नो दिव्य आध्यात्मिक स्वरूप प्राप्त भयो, यतिसम्म कि त्यो चोर डाकुहरूले समेत प्राप्त गरे। हामी त्यस समयमा कहाँ थियौँ? त्यहाँ हामी चोरै भएर बसेको भए पनि हामी चाहिँ चतुर्भुज हुन्थ्यो होला, दिव्य स्वरूप प्राप्त गरिदिनुहुन्थ्यो होला। कहाँ हुनुहुन्थ्यो तपाईहरू? कहाँ हुनुहुन्थ्यो त्यस समयमा?
Who would like to one day join that kirtan party of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
कसलाई चैतन्य महाप्रभुको त्यही अभियानको संकीर्तनमा जोडिन छ
Hari
हरि
Bol!
बोल
3 times.
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
May your wish be fulfilled.
हरि बोल तपाईहरुको इच्छा पूरा होस्
So they were all, of course, chanting Hare Krishna, but then as they were going along, there was this sub-theme, like another theme that entered into the bhav, the mood, and that was some of the men started chanting another mantra.
हेर यसरी उनीहरू कीर्तन गर्दै गइरहेका थिए अचानक के भने अर्को किसिमको एउटा भाव चाहिँ त्यहाँ प्रवेश गर्यो र केही तरिकाले उनीहरूले अब अर्को एउटा मन्त्र जप्न थाले
Would you like to know this mantra? Some of the men started chanting.
त्यहाँ अरु कोही मान्छेहरूले गाउन थालेको जुन मन्त्र छ तपाईलाई सुन्न मन छ
Okay. Kill the Kazi, Krishna, Krishna. Kill the Kazi, Rama, Rama.
काजी मुर्दाबाद कृष्ण कृष्ण काजी मुर्दाबाद कृष्ण राम राम
Please don't learn that mantra. That was.
यो मन्त्र चाहिँ नसिक्नु होला तपाईहरुले
So as this kirtan party approached the palace of the Chandkazi, which was a little bit out of town, the whole sky was illuminated because of the torches. So the Kazi, he could hear and he could see these millions of devotees coming to his palace.
र जसै यो संकीर्तन पार्टी काजीको घरतर्फ पुग्न आट्यो यो काजीको घर चाहिँ शहरभन्दा अलिकति बाहिरपट्टि थियो उनले ती लाखौं मुसलहरू बालेको उज्यालो देख्न थाले र आफ्नो कानले यो कीर्तन सुन्न थाले
But Mahaprabhu wanted it to appear that the ordinary citizens didn't like this decree he had made to stop the Sankirtan. So Mahaprabhu went, and all the forearms disappeared. It was like that. Wow, I have my forearms.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु चाहनुहुन्थ्यो कि यो जुन आन्दोलन चाहिँ साधारण व्यक्तिहरूले गरेको हो भनेर देखाउन चाहनुहुन्थ्यो त्यसकारण चैतन्य महाप्रभुले हातले इशारा गर्नुभयो र अचानक सबैजनाको चतुर्भुजबाट दुईटा हातहरू हराए सबैजनाले मेरो दुईटा हात कहाँ गए खोज्न थाले
I only have 2, I had 4.
मेरो अहिले त दुईटा मात्र त चावडा थियो
What's it like to have 4 arms? I don't know.
कस्तो हुन्थ्यो होला है चावडा हात हुँदाखेरि
You can cook and you can chant at the same time.
पकाउँदै जप पनि गर्न मिल्थ्यो होला
Anyway, but they were happy. They were serving Mahaprabhu.
तर उनीहरू अत्यन्त खुसी थिए चैतन्य महाप्रभुको सेवा
So
गरेर
it was like a blinding scene. So when the Kazi looked out, he thought, "Oh, it's a Hindu wedding."
र यस्तो आँखा चाहिँ तिर्मिराउने खालको दृश्य थियो र काजीले बाहिर हेरेर सोचे ए हिन्दूहरूको बिहे रहेछ
You know, you're trying to sleep at night. There's a big wedding. You know, Bollywood. So the Kazi said, "Oh, it's just a Hindu wedding."
र कहिलेकाहीँ हामी सुत्न खोज्छौँ अचानक बाहिर चाहिँ गीत बज्छ हिन्दी गाना बज्छ ए यो बिहे रहेछ भने जस्तो
So some of his guards, because he had his personal security team, they looked out the window and they said, "Chandkazi, it's Nimai Pandit with a party of people chanting God's name in their Sanskrit language."
र जति पनि उसका अंगरक्षकहरू थिए काजीका उनीहरूले झ्यालबाट आएर काजीलाई भने कि यो त निमाई पण्डित हो र उसका सबै भक्तहरूलाई लिएर उनीहरूकै आफ्नै भगवानको के नाम जप गर्दै आइरहेका छन्
So then the Chandkazi became very angry because he said, "I made this decree and now they're disobeying it."
र चाँद काजी अत्यन्त क्रोधित भए मैले त यस्तो नियम बनाएको थिएँ र अहिले यसको यिनीहरूले उल्लङ्घन गर्दैछन्
So cold. He ordered his guards, personal guards. He had about 10,000 personal guards. He said, "Go out and kill them all."
र उनले आफ्ना अंगरक्षकहरूलाई आदेश दिए लगभग 10,000 जना अंगरक्षकहरू थिए उनीहरूलाई गएर भने बाहिर जाओ र सबलाई मार
And then you come back and you give me a report how they're all dead.
र आएर मलाई चाहिँ समाचार सुनाउनु कि कसरी सबजना मरे भनेर
So these 10,000 personal guards, they went out, and as they came closer to this tumultuous chanting of Hare Krishna, they became full of fear because they also heard the sub-theme, kill the Kazi, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama.
र जसै यी 10,000 जना अङ्गरक्षकहरू त्यो महाकीर्तनको नजिकै पुगे उनीहरूले चाहिँ अचम्बित भए किनकि उनीहरूले यो हरे कृष्ण सँगसँगै काजी मुर्दाबाद भनेको पनि सुनिरहेका थिए
And they became afraid, so they disguised themselves.
र उनीहरू त्यति डराए त्यसकारणले आफूलाई लुकाउन थाले
They pulled their turbans down
आफ्नो पगडीलाई तल ताने
and they tucked their chin like this so you couldn't see their red beards.
र त्यो चिउँडोलाई यसरी चाहिँ भित्र हाले ताकि उनीहरूको रातो दाढी नदेखियोस्
I'm not being offensive to the Muslim faith because I have many friends who are Muslims, but this is just an historical incident.
मैले मुसलमानहरूलाई अपमान गर्न खोजेको हैन मेरो पनि कयौं मुसलमान साथीहरू त हुनुहुन्छ तर यो त इतिहास हो
I spent a lot of time preaching in Islamic countries actually.
र इस्लाम देशहरूमा पनि कयौं समय मैले प्रचार गरेको छु
Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Dagestan, Oman, all these countries I spent many years preaching. Not like this.
पाकिस्तान कजाकिस्तान ओमान इत्यादि देशहरूमा चाहिँ महाराजले प्रचार गर्नुभएको छ यसरी हैन
I go in Western dress. I have a wig, really nice wig. No gray hairs.
पाश्चात्य वेशभूषामा जान्छु महाराजको नक्कली कपाल पनि छ सुन्दर कपाल छ
But they're always suspicious when I come to immigration like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. Why are you here? Why have you come to our country?
तर उनीहरुलाई सधैं शंका लाग्छ किन तपाई यहाँ आको भनेर सोध्छन्
I say salam alaikum.
र महाराजले सलाम अलैकुम भन्दिनुहुन्छ
Alaikum salam, they say that.
उनीहरुले वालेकुम सलाम भन्छन्
You know our faith? Allah Akbar, alhamdulillah. There is no God but God and Muhammad is his prophet. Welcome American, please come into our...
र उहाँले अल्लाह अकबर भनेपछि ओहो भगवान उनीहरुको एकदम खुसी हुन्छन् र हाम्रो देशमा स्वागत छ भन्छन्
And with my Muslim friends we study Quran. I've read the Quran. I study the Quran and they also study Bhagavad Gita with me.
र आफ्ना मुसलमान साथीहरुको साथमा बसेर मैले कुरान पनि पढेको छु र उनीहरु पनि मसँग बसेर भगवत गीता पढेका छन्
We respect each other's chosen path. There's no argument. I'm very happy to see that they're desiring to go back to Godhead and they're happy to see me. So if the world was like this, if we could respect and appreciate other people's religions, happy with ours, the world will be a much better place.
र एकअर्काको धर्मलाई आफ्नो मार्गलाई चाहिँ हामीले सम्मान गर्नुपर्छ यदि वास्तवमा सारा विश्वमा नै यसरी नै हामीले यस्तो सम्बन्ध राम्रो बनाउने हो भनेदेखि कुनै समस्या हुँदैन सबैजना भगवानको धाममा जानेछन्
So they're like this and they're walking around looking and they're going by the Vaishnavas and they're touching the Vaishnavas.
र उनीहरु चाहिँ आफ्नो दाढी लुकाएर यसरी लुकेर चाहिँ जाँदैछन् र वैष्णवहरुको स्पर्श गर्दैछन्
And they're passing by Advaita Acharya and Sri Gadadhar Pandit who are chanting Hare Krishna and they're hearing the voice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what happens? Boing! They become pure devotees. And boing! They get 4 arms. And Mahaprabhu goes, no 4 arms now. Oh, I lost my 4 arms.
र जसै उनीहरु चाहिँ अद्वैत आचार्यको छेउबाट भएर जान्छन् गदाधर पण्डितको छेउबाट जान्छन् र चैतन्य महाप्रभुको मुखारविन्दबाट कीर्तन सुन्छन् अचानक उनीहरु पनि शुद्ध भक्तमा परिणत हुन्छन् उनीहरुको 4वटा हातहरु निक्लिन्छन् अचानक चैतन्य महाप्रभुले हातले इशारा गर्नुहुन्छ फेरि उनीहरुको 2टा हातहरु छन् मेरो 2टा हात कहाँ हरायो अनि फेरि उनीहरु चाहिँ भक्त भनेर त्यहाँ अगाडि कीर्तन गर्दै जान्छन्
This is not an exaggeration. It depends Atmanivedanam, how surrendered we are. You can surrender in 1 minute and get Krishna's full mercy. But we hesitate, we have our doubts, we have our desires, so we don't get the full effect of Krishna consciousness.
यो कुनै बढाइ चढाइ गरेर भनेको हैन किनभने यो सबै हाम्रो समर्पणमा भर पर्ने कुरा हो यदि हाम्रो पूर्ण समर्पण छ भने एक क्षण भित्रमा हामीले समर्पण गर्यो भनेदेखि पूर्ण कृपा प्राप्त गर्न सक्छौं हामीहरुले तर यदि हाम्रो आफ्नो आसक्ति छ आफ्नो आफ्नो समस्या लिएर बसेका छौं भनेदेखि समय लाग्छ
We've had enough experience with the material world. We've been here in different bodies since time immemorial, like Dukalayama Shashvatam. It's a temporary place full of suffering. Why should I stay here? Full dandavats to Prabhupada and Krishna. I am yours. Then a rain of mercy will come on your head.
र यति हामीले सोच्यो ओहो धेरै जन्म जन्मान्तर भयो यो संसारमा म अनेक जीव योनिहरूमा चाहिँ भ्रमण गरिसकेँ अब मलाई पुग्यो अब मलाई गर्नु छैन भनेर पूर्ण समर्पणका साथमा श्रील प्रभुपादलाई दण्डवत गर्नुहोस् भगवानलाई दण्डवत गर्नुहोस् अचानक कृपाको वर्षा हुन थाल्छ.
So then these soldiers, they came back to report to the consul. They put their turban back up and pulled out their red beards, but something was different. They had this little twinkle in the eye. They had tears in their eyes. Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. Krishna, help. This is pure devotional service.
र उनीहरू अब फेरि काजीलाई चाहिँ आफ्नो सन्देश सुनाउनलाई भनेर आएका थिए. उनीहरूले आफ्नो फेरि दारीलाई बाहिर निकाले अनि पगडी पनि बाँधे. तर उनीहरूकोमा केही परिवर्तन आएको थियो. उनीहरूको आँखामा एउटा चमक थियो. उनीहरूको आँखाबाट आँसु झरिरहेको थियो. हे कृष्ण, कहिले हजुरको नामहरू पुकार्दाखेरि गला गदगद भएर बाक्की नफुट्ने अवस्था कहिले आउला? यो आँखाबाट अविरल आँसुका धारा बग्ने दिन कहिले आउला? हजुरको बिरहमा एक क्षण पनि युग जस्तो लामो अनुभूति हुने दिन कहिले आउला? उनीहरूलाई वास्तवमा कृष्णको प्रेम प्राप्त भएको थियो.
So they came into the court where the Chankazi was. Oh, Chankazi, come my soldiers, come sit with me. How did you slaughter them?
र उनीहरू चाँदकाजीको त्यहाँ दरबारभित्र प्रवेश गरे र चाँदकाजीले भने ल मेरो सेनाहरूभित्र आओ, मलाई बताऊ कसरी कसरी तिमीहरू सबलाई मार्यौ त?
No, first you tell me something about this Nimai Pandit. What is this rascal like? Tell me something about him.
त्योभन्दा नि पहिला यो निमाई पण्डितको बारेमा बताऊ, यो फटा कस्तो खालको हो भनेर.
So one of the guards came forward. He said, they're not knowing him as Nimai Pandit. They're knowing him as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As he said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tears started rolling down his cheeks. He's not Nimai, he's Chaitanya. Chanka said, what's wrong with you?
र उनीहरूले आएर भने उसलाई त अहिले निमाई पण्डित भनिन नि, उहाँलाई त चैतन्य महाप्रभु भनिन्छ. र जसरी चैतन्य महाप्रभुको नाम उनीहरूको मुखबाट निस्क्यो, आँखाबाट आँसुका धारा बग्न थाले. र उनीहरूले चैतन्य महाप्रभु भन्न थाले. र अचानक काजीले ए के भयो तिमीहरूलाई भनेर भने.
So then a soldier started describing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
र यो सेनाले चैतन्य महाप्रभुको वर्णन गर्न थाल्यो.
He said, let my mind, which is like a honeybee, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has now appeared on the earth planet to start the Yuga Dharma of chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. र यो सेनाले वर्णन गर्न थाल्यो कि मेरो मन जुन एउटा माउरी जस्तो छ, यसले सदैव पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभुको चरण कमलको आश्रय लियोस्, जसले यो युगमा यो हरिनाम संकीर्तनको कीर्तन गर्नका लागि प्रारम्भ गर्नका लागि आउनु भएको छ.
Then the soldier said, my dear Kazi, did you know that this system had almost been lost due to the influence of time, and now it is revived by the avatar, the golden avatar, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
हेर यो सेनाले भन्न थाले, तपाईँलाई थाहा छ वास्तवमा यो कीर्तन गर्ने त लगभग हराइसकेको थियो, तर यसलाई फेरि पुनर्जागृत गर्नुभएको छ. अहिलेको अवतार सुवर्णिम अवतार श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभुले, र उसको आँखाबाट फेरि अविरल आँसु धारा बग्न थाल्यो.
So Chankazi said, what kind of nonsense are you saying?
र चाँदकाजीले भनेको के किसिमको बेकार कुरा गरेको
So
तिमीले?
he grabbed another one of the soldiers. He said, speak some sense, not like this fool here. Who is this Nimai Pandit?
र उनले अर्को एकजना सैनिकलाई समाते, तिमीले अलिकति राम्रो कुरा भन त, यो मूर्खले जस्तो कुरा नगर, यो निमाई पण्डित को हो मलाई बताऊ.
That soldier, he stood like this, and his eyes started filling up with tears as well. He's about to speak about Chaitanya.
र अर्को सैनिक यसरी हात जोडेर बसे र चैतन्य महाप्रभुको बारेमा बोल्न लाग्दाखेरि उसको आँखाभरि आँसु भरिएको थियो.
He said, Chaitanya, on his tongue he worships the names of Sri Hari. Oh, how wonderful.
र उनले भने चैतन्य, उहाँको मुखमा सदैव भगवान श्री हरिको नाम विराजमान हुन्छ.
From his eyes shower thousands of tears and love of Krishna.
उहाँको आँखाबाट आँसुका धारा बग्छन् र कृष्णको प्रेम बग्छ.
All the hairs on his body incessantly stand erect out of ecstasy, and he shines with divine perspiration.
र उहाँका रौँहरू उहाँको शरीरमा एकदमै ठाडो भएर उभिएका छन् र उहाँको अद्भुत पसिना निस्किरहेको छ.
The Qazi is like, what?
अरे काजीले के?
What? And so the soldier went on. In this way, people learn of the eternal service which forever follows in the footsteps of the milkmaids of Braj from Gora Hari.
र उनले भने यसरी उनीहरूले गौरहरि भगवानबाट ती गोपीहरूले गर्ने भावलाई प्राप्त गर्दैछन्.
This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most exalted and the most nectarian person, showering the world with devotional service in the form of chanting his own holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
यो चैतन्य महाप्रभु यस्तो दिव्य व्यक्तित्व हुनुहुन्छ जसले यो अमृत प्रभालाई आफ्नो स्वनामको कीर्तनद्वारा प्रभावित गरिराख्नु भएको छ.
Qazi said, what happened to my soldiers?
काजीले भने मेरा सेनाहरूलाई के भयो?
So one soldier again, he said, our dear king, to see a Vaishnava is the perfection of the eyes, to hear a Vaishnava, perfection of the ears, to touch a Vaishnava, the perfection of touch. We experience all this. Oh, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
र उनले भने वास्तवमा यो आँखाको पूर्णता छ भक्तहरूको दर्शन गर्नुमा, यो शरीरको पूर्णता छ भक्तहरूलाई स्पर्श गर्नमा, र यो कानको पूर्णता छ भक्तहरूको बारेमा श्रवण गर्नाले. र अचानक हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गाउन थाले.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
हरि बोल.
That's 4 times.
4 चोटि भयो.
2 more to make it 6. Hari Bol,
Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Okay, that's 6.
Cha
That
choti
was
भयो.
7.
7 भयो.
Now we have to make it 9. Hari
हरि
Bol,
बोल
Hari
हरि
Bol.
बोल.
Oh. So just at that moment, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and millions of devotees with torches arrived, chanting Hare Krishna and chanting, kill the Qazi, kill the Qazi, Hare Krishna, Hare, kill the Qazi, kill the Qazi, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
र त्यही समयमा चैतन्य महाप्रभु र ती लाखौं भक्तहरू आफ्नो राकेट जुलुसको साथमा त्यहाँ प्रवेश गर्नुभयो र सबैजनाले हरे कृष्ण गाइराख्नु भएको थियो. साथसाथै काजीलाई मार भन्दै पनि गाइराख्नु भएको थियो.
So the Qazi, he went and hid in the closet where his clothes were.
र काजी गएर चाहिँ आफ्नो दराजमा लुक्यो जहाँ चाहिँ कपडा राखिन्थ्यो.
But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was requesting, come out Qazi, I want to talk to you.
चैतन्य महाप्रभुले अनुरोध गर्नुभयो, ए काजी बाहिर आऊ, तिमीसँग बोल्नु जा.
But the Qazi wouldn't come out.
तर काजी बाहिर निस्केन.
So finally, somehow or other, he convinced the Qazi to come out. And you know, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a long philosophical discussion they had about many subjects in Krishna consciousness. The ultimate effect is that by the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Qazi's heart melted.
र अन्तिममा काजी बाहिर निस्केर आउनै पर्यो र चैतन्य महाप्रभुसँग अनेक वार्तालापहरू भए र चैतन्य चरितामृतबाट हामीलाई थाहा हुन्छ विभिन्न कृष्ण भावनाका सम्बन्धीका तत्त्वचर्चाहरू उहाँहरूले गर्नुभयो. तर वास्तवमा यसको असर के भयो भने काजीको हृदय पग्लियो र उनी पनि कृष्ण भक्त बने.
And then the Qazi shared one dream he had the night before with Mahaprabhu, where Lord Nrsingadev appeared to him and threatened him that if he tried to stop the Sankirtan movement, he would rip his heart out with his claws. And he scratched the Qazi in his dream. And when the Qazi woke up, the scratches were still there. He said, who was that half man, half lion?
र काजीले चैतन्य महाप्रभुलाई वास्तवमा मैले हिजो राति सपनामा अत्यन्त भयानक सपना देखेको थिएँ भन्ने कुरा वर्णन गरेँ. मैले चाहिँ राति अचानक मेरो छातीमाथि नृसिंहदेव आउनुभयो र मेरो छाती मेरो सङ्कीर्तन अभियानलाई रोक्ने तर हिम्मत कसरी भयो भनेर थर्काउनु भयो र मेरो छातीमा आफ्नो नङ्ग्राहरू चाहिँ चितर्नु भएको थियो र त्यो नङ्ग्राको डाम पनि उहाँले खोलेर चैतन्य महाप्रभुलाई देखाउनु भयो.
So at the end of the discussion, Mahaprabhu blessed the Qazi. And the Shastra describes that Qazi became a pure devotee of the Lord.
र अन्तिममा चैतन्य महाप्रभुले यो काजीलाई आशीर्वाद दिनुभयो र शास्त्रमा वर्णन गरिएको छ काजी वास्तवमा भगवानको शुद्ध भक्त बने।
Actually, the Chandkazi's samadhi is in Navadvip, not so far from our temple, and sometimes devotees go and they pay respects to him because he surrendered, became a pure devotee.
र वास्तवमा नवद्वीपमा अहिले पनि चाँदकाजीको समाधि छ र हाम्रो मन्दिरबाट नजिकै छ, भक्तहरू अहिले पनि जानुहुन्छ र त्यहाँ उहाँलाई चाहिँ प्रणाम निवेदन गर्नुहुन्छ किनकि वास्तवमा उहाँले भगवानलाई समर्पण गर्नुभएको थियो।
Now, this is quite amazing that such an offender could reach the stage of pure devotional service, but our Vaishnavacharyas, they give some comments on this phenomena.
र यो यस्तो अद्भुत एउटा आश्चर्यको घटना हो कि यस्तो अपराधीले पनि यस्तो भगवानको भक्ति प्राप्त गर्नुभयो, त्यसकारणले हाम्रा आचार्यहरूले यसमा आफ्नो टिप्पणी दिनुहुन्छ।
Acharyas say that the Chandkazi was particularly offensive because he not only attacked the paraphernalia of the Lord, the tadiya, the preferred like drums and kartals, but he personally persecuted the Vaishnava devotees and he blasphemed Lord Chaitanya. Three things. He destroyed the paraphernalia, he persecuted Vaishnavas, and he blasphemed Lord Chaitanya. He was very, very offensive.
वास्तवमा यो काजीको तीनटा मुख्य अपराधहरू थिए। उसले पहिलो कुरा त भगवानको जति पनि तदीयहरू छ, मृदङ्ग करताल इत्यादिलाई चाहिँ फुटाल दिएका थिए र साथसाथै भक्तहरूलाई पनि दण्ड दिएका थिए र चैतन्य महाप्रभुको निन्दा गरेका थिए।
It's described that he had committed enough offenses to send him to Patala Loka for billions and billions and billions of lifetimes.
यस्तो वर्णन गरिएको छ उनले यति अपराध गरिसकेका थिए कि त्यति अपराधको फलस्वरूप उनलाई पाताल लोकमा लगेर नरकमा करोडौं 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 वर्षसम्म बस्नुपर्ने थियो।
So we know sinful persons can be delivered.
भनेको पापी व्यक्तिहरू पनि उद्धार हुन सक्छन्।
But sinful persons whose sins center around offending Vaishnavas, there's practically no chance that that person can be delivered.
तर यदि पापी व्यक्तिले वैष्णवहरूलाई अपराध गरे भने चाहिँ उसको उद्धार हुने कुनै सम्भावना हुँदैन।
That's the hatimata, the mad elephant offense.
यसलाई पागल हात्ती अपराध भनिन्छ।
Nevertheless, we see that Chandkazi was not only delivered, his karma was destroyed, his material desires were removed, but he also received prema. So this is a very special incarnation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore, when Rupa Goswami first saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Ramkeli, the minute he saw him, a beautiful shloka came from Rupa's mouth. Namo Mahabharanaya Krishna Prem Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gotishe. You're the same person who appeared previously as Krishna. You've now appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is most amazing about you? You are giving the topmost understanding, that the Braj Bhakti, the love of the residents of Vrindavan, the gopis, to those who are most fallen people in Kali Yuga. What could be more amazing than this?
यद्यपि काजीले यति अनेक किसिमका अपराधहरू गरेका थिए तर पनि उनको केवल मात्र भौतिक इच्छाहरूको नाश भएन, उनको कर्म मात्रै हटिएन, उनले प्रेम प्राप्त गरे। किन त भन्दा यो केवल चैतन्य महाप्रभुसँगबाट सम्भव छ। त्यसैले रूप गोस्वामीले जब प्रथमचोटि रामकेलीमा चैतन्य महाप्रभुलाई भेट गर्दाखेरि उहाँलाई देख्न साथ उहाँको मुखबाट यो श्लोक बाहिर निस्किएको थियो, नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमः। कि यो चैतन्य महाप्रभु जो पहिला कृष्ण बनेर आउनु भएको छ, अहिले त्यही चैतन्य महाप्रभुको रूपमा आउनु भएको छ र त्यो ब्रजभक्ति गोपीहरूले अनुभव गर्ने दिव्य प्रेमलाई पतित जीवात्माहरूमा वितरित गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ। यो भन्दा धेरै वदन्यताहरू कसमा होला?
Who's giving class, me or you? He's a good translator. Give him a big round of applause. But it's quite incredible. These three offenses, the paraphernalia, the Vaishnavas, and God, still he got pure devotion.
त यी तीनटा अपराध गरेका थिए, उनले तदीयलाई पनि तोडेका थिए, भक्तलाई पनि दुःख दिएका थिए, भगवानको निन्दा गरेका थिए, तर पनि उनले प्रेम प्राप्त गरे।
Now one acharya, he gives his personal realization. He says that he was delivered because he received the combined mercy of Lord Nrsingadev and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Woo!
एकजना आचार्यले वर्णन गर्नुहुन्छ उहाँको उद्धार यस कारणले गर्दा भयो किनकि उहाँले दुईटा अवतार श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु र नृसिंहदेवको एकैचोटि कृपा प्राप्त गर्नुभएको
A
थियो
double mercy. Nrsingadev and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
दोहोरो कृपा नृसिंहदेवको पनि चैतन्य महाप्रभुको पनि
And that Acharya says Nrsingadev is within our hearts and without as well.
र आचार्यले भन्नुहुन्छ नृसिंहदेव हाम्रो हृदय पनि भित्र पनि हुनुहुन्छ बाहिर पनि हुनुहुन्छ
And of course Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also in our hearts and without as well. That's the bhav of a Chaitanya Bhakta.
र अवश्य चैतन्य भक्तहरूको भावना यस्तो हुन्छ कि चैतन्य महाप्रभु हाम्रो हृदय भित्र पनि हुनुहुन्छ बाहिर पनि हुनुहुन्छ
So the Acharya says, Lord Nrsingadev, he removed with his hot claws these sinful reactions from the heart of the Chandkazi, and when those sinful reactions and those material desires were gone, in the form of lust, anger, and greed, then came the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates to awaken prema bhakti within the heart of the Chandkazi.
र यो आचार्यले वर्णन गर्नुहुन्छ कि नृसिंहदेवले आफ्ना तिखा नङ्ग्राहरूले चाहिँ चाँदकाजीको हृदयबाट भौतिक इच्छाहरू र उसका पाप कर्महरूलाई तिखारेर निकालिदिनु भयो र तत्पश्चात चैतन्य महाप्रभुसँग र उहाँका पार्षदहरूसँग भेट भएपछि उहाँलाई प्रेम प्राप्त भयो
So how do we receive the same mercy, the same perfection in Krishna consciousness?
त्यसो नि हामीले त्यही प्रेमलाई त्यही पूर्णतालाई कृष्ण भावनाभित्र कसरी प्राप्त गर्न सक्छौं
Should we become a big demon like Hiranyaksha or Hiranyakashipu or Ravana, or Chandkazi, and make the Lord appear and just destroy us, all our anarthas, and then bless us with mercy? No, that's not so nice. No, Mahaprabhu says you don't have to do that. You just come to this nice Kathmandu temple here in the presence of Srila Prabhupada and your deities, and you have kirtan like we had tonight. You dance in ecstasy, you have some katha, and you take nice Krishna prasadam. The same result will come. Mahaprabhu is so merciful. Prabhupada is so merciful.
हेर त्यसो नि कि अब हामीले पनि यो कृपा प्राप्त गर्नका लागि हिरण्याक्ष हिरण्यकशिपु रावण जस्तो असुर बन्ने कांसकादी जस्तो असुर बन्ने त चैतन्य महाप्रभुले भन्नुभयो पर्दैन तपाईहरु केवल काठमाडौँको मन्दिरमा आउनुहोस् भगवानको विग्रहको समक्ष कीर्तन गर्नुहोस् नाच्नुहोस् जस्तो बेलुका आज हामीहरूले गर्यौं र श्रील प्रभुपादजी यति दयालु हुनुहुन्छ चैतन्य महाप्रभु यति दयालु हुनुहुन्छ यति गरे बापत हामीले त्यो प्रेम पाउन सक्छौं
So it's getting late. It's 8:30.
रात परिसक्यो अहिले 8:30
I just wanted to share that pastime with you and the results of that pastime and encourage you to keep doing as you're doing in this beautiful yatra in this beautiful temple and surrender. Try to come to the point of full surrender in this lifetime and leave this miserable world and go back to the spiritual world. And there you can associate with Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. There's a special corner of the spiritual world called Swaitadweep, another Swaitadweep. There is the eternal kirtan party of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's going on eternally. You can go there, or you can go into Krishna's pastimes, or by the mystic potency of the spiritual world, you can be present in both places simultaneously. That's another lecture.
यो लीला तपाईहरुलाई सुनाउनुको उद्देश्य हो ताकि तपाईहरुले जुन भक्तिमय सेवा गरिराख्नु भएको छ त्यसैलाई निरन्तरता बढ्दै जाओस् र एक दिन त्यो स्तरसम्म पुग्नुहोस् तपाईलाई पूर्ण समर्पण होस् भगवानमा र त्यही कृपाले गर्दाखेरि हामीहरु भगवानको धाममा प्रवेश गर्न सक्छौं राधा र कृष्णको चरणकमलमा पुग्न सक्छौं र त्यो आध्यात्मिक जगतको एउटा ठाउँमा त्यो एउटा विशेष स्थान छ जसलाई श्वेतद्वीप भनिन्छ जुन ठाउँमा चैतन्य महाप्रभु र उहाँका संगीहरुले नित्य रूपमा यो कीर्तन गरिराख्नुहुन्छ तपाई त्यहाँ पनि जान सक्नुहुन्छ या गोलोक वृन्दावनमा पनि जान सक्नुहुन्छ अथवा भगवानको दिव्य शक्तिको कारणले दुवै ठाउँमा एकैचोटी पनि बस्न सक्नुहुन्छ.
So we're going to finish here. It's actually late. We're leaving tomorrow. My group is leaving tomorrow, and I have several affairs I have to take care of in the early morning. So we'll take your leave. But I have one last request from all of you beautiful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis.
त अहिले चाहिँ हामीहरु यहाँ सिद्ध्याउँछौं किनभने रात पनि परिसक्यो र भोलि महाराज र उहाँसँग आउनुभएका सम्पूर्ण भक्तहरू चाहिँ यहाँबाट प्रस्थान गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ तर अन्तिममा जानुभन्दा अगाडि एउटा अन्तिम प्रार्थना हजुरहरू सुन्दर भक्तहरूसँग महाराजले गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ.
May I make one request?
एउटा प्रार्थना गरौँ.
What I would ordinarily do, there's no room, but I would fall down flat on the ground and pay dandavats to everyone's lotus feet here.
साधारणतया त यहाँ भएका प्रत्येक भक्तको चरण कमलमा म सिधा दण्डवत गरेर यो प्रार्थना गर्ने गर्दछु.
And then with tears in my eyes, my hands are trembling with all humility that I can bring forth in my heart, I would make the following request.
र आँखाभरि आँसु राखेर मेरो हृदय कम्पित भएर विनम्रताका साथ हात जोडेर मैले प्रार्थना गर्छु.
And that request is, can we please come back again and have Kirtan and Katha and Prasadam with all of you?
र त्यो प्रार्थना हो हामी फेरि आएर यहाँ कीर्तन कथा र प्रसाद दिन सक्छौं त.
Okay. So there's only one good thing about saying goodbye. Only one good thing about saying goodbye.
र गुड बाई भन्ने बारेमा एउटा मात्रै राम्रो कुरा हुन्छ.
And that is, in the future, I hope the very near future, we can say hello again.
कि भविष्यमा र सकेसम्म निकट भविष्यमा हामीले फेरि हेलो भन्न पाउँछौं.
So we truly love all of you, each and every individual, and all the other places, the temples here in this wonderful country of Nepal. We love all of you. We can't wait to come back and dance in ecstasy with you in Kirtan, have class, and eat the sumptuous prasadam that we ate here. I put on 2 kilos with all the wonderful prasadam that the Matajis had cooked for us. So thank you very much.
यता फेरि पनि हामी आएर तपाईहरुसँग नाच्ने, गाउने, कथा सुने, कीर्तन गर्ने र प्रसाद ग्रहण गर्न पाउँछौं. महाराजले भन्दै हुनुहुन्छ कि तपाईहरुले यति सुन्दर प्रसाद बनाउनु भयो कि यति दिनमै मैले 2 किलो चाहिँ महाराजको बढिसकेको छ. यति सुन्दर प्रसाद बनाउनु भयो.
Srila Prabhupada ki
जय.
Shri Shri Gauritai ki
जय.
Shri Radha Krishna ki
जय.
Jagannath Subhadra Baladeva ki
जय.
Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki
जय.
Vaishnava Sangha ki
जय.
back home, back to Godhead ki
जय.
take the whole world with us ki
जय.
Tagore Pimanande
हरि हरि बोल.
Jai Jai Sri Radhe Jai Jai Sri Radhe Jai Jai Sri Radhe Sham. Good night.
शुभरात्रि.
हामी हाम्रो महाराजलाई हाम्रो महाराजलाई यस इस्कन नेपालको परिवारको तर्फबाट सानो एउटा भेट अर्पण गर्न चाहेका छौं. हामी श्रील प्रभुपाद जीले यस वर्षभरि जुन सल प्रभुपादले लगाइएको थियो, उहाँलाई यो प्रभुपादको तदियाहरू एकदमै मन पर्छ. प्रभुपादले पनि उहाँलाई उत्तरी दिनुभएको थियो. सो आज त्यही सम्झनामा हामी स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपादजीको यो विशेष चादर स्वामी महाराजलाई हामी अर्पण गर्न चाहन्छौँ. हामी अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु. We would like to, on behalf of the entire ISKCON Nepal family, we would like to offer one special chadar worn by Srila Prabhupada the entire year. As we know that the paraphernalias of Srila Prabhupada is very dear to you, His Holiness. So we'd like to request His Grace Rupesha Gaur Prabhu to offer this chadar, Srila Prabhupada's chadar, to you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj ki Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna Maharaj. So, after this wonderful Gaura Leela, definitely our beloved Param Dayalu Nitai Chaitanya has also come here to bless you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So, Sri Param Dayalu Nitai Chaitanya ki, Shri Bhagavan ki, His Holiness Indradyumna Swami